Welcome to Escape This Podcast, a show that's a mix between tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles. This is the end of Up in the Air. Danny, this is the culmination. Are you excited for the end of this 5-episode arc?
I definitely am, except for the panic that it means I've got to get writing again. It was really nice feeling like I'd finished something. Just being able to dust my hands off and sit back and relax.
No, there's more. You got to get going. Every episode, we have guests come on and join us for an audio escape room, and these guests will be finishing the story of Up in the Air. 2 new guests to the show from Good Morning from Hell. Welcome, Blaine Gibson.
Hello.
And Chris Damaris.
Hello.
We're super excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is going to be so much fun.
Before we get into the normal questions I always ask our guests, do you want to explain for people listening along at home, what is Good Morning from Hell?
In Good Morning from Hell, it's a comedy podcast where I'm dead, and my internal punishment in hell is to interview everyone in the afterlife. So we interview historical figures, fictional characters, from anywhere from like Napoleon to Freddy Krueger, and I play myself, and Blaine here, he plays Satan's little brother, Clayton.
I don't know if we can announce this, but I think one of you guys, if not both of you, will be on the show. So, little collaboration, that'll be fun.
Yes, if everything goes to plan next week, before the podcast This Escape comes out, there'll be an Escape This Podcast appearance as someone from hell.
That's right. All the way from across the world.
Well, look, this is an escape room show, not a hell interview show. So, what is your escape room experience? Blaine, what about you?
Yeah, so we have a lot of escape rooms here in Austin. It's, I think probably my track record is I'm up to like 9 to 12 or so.
Nice.
So like, yeah, they're a lot of fun. I like going to them with a big group of friends. I'm the one that's always like trying to think outside of the box, crawling on the ground, really testing if they've mopped the floors lately.
And Chris, what about you?
I love escape rooms. I mean, as someone who just likes games in general, as just an activity to do in real life, and that's tactile and just like combines social interaction and puzzles and story. Love them.
For this, we at least get to give you half of that.
Tactile.
It won't be tactile
that.
at all.
Yeah.
Very limited social interaction.
Yeah, sometimes I treat Chris's house like an escape room. I'm just like, how do I get out of here?
Chris, you haven't cleaned these floors.
Get off my floors. Yeah.
But what if you hit something under the couch?
Yeah.
Well, this is, as we said, not tactile, because this is escape rooms mixed with a sort of tabletop role-playing style. We introduced you as being from Good Morning from Hell, but you are part of another show as well, which is Tales from the Stinky Dragon, which is, based on the name, hopefully, a tabletop role-playing podcast. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, and also your general tabletop role-playing experience?
Yeah, so Tales from the Stinky Dragon, it's actually more of an NPR style show. I'm just kidding. It's a tabletop RPG show. It's a real play show. We kind of treat it more like a radio play. We'll have NPCs on, and they'll be voiced characters, and we'll have one of our creators who's like the dungeon master behind the scenes. He's a brilliant composer, so we have these amazing musical scores. It's a really fun listening experience, and it's fun for all ages. So we get a lot of people who are like, oh, I listen to this with my kids, and this is how I'm introducing them to Dungeons and Dragons. We do it with our group of friends. We all used to be at a company here in Austin called Rooster Teeth. And when they shut down, we went independent. So we're all making it, and we're having a great time over there.
And Chris, obviously you're part of that, but aside from that as well, do you have any other tabletop role-playing experience?
I mean, this is weird, but most of my tabletop role-playing experience has been for content on camera, either for Tales from Sticky Dragon or one of our supplementary shows or some other guest appearance on another D&D show. But I do love them, so I will.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think we started getting into D&D during COVID when we were working at Rooster Teeth, just live streaming it. And then we were like, let's do a podcast and make it the best D&D podcast ever. And that's what we did. Or at least we try.
It's one of those hard things as well, because like for Danny and myself, like right now, escape rooms are so much part of the content that we make that when we go and do one that isn't recorded, it feels weird sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that balance of what's going to be content and what's just for fun. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, right. It's like my friends who stream video games. I'm like, do you just ever play video games and not entertain? Like, you just got to take your brain out of that performance
or are they
mode.
sitting there at home, not performing, but still going, wow, I guess I'm going to open this. I'm going to, whoa, oh my gosh. Oh, there's no chat. Damn.
Thanks, chat. Yeah.
Granted, that is how we do real world escape rooms now.
Yes, we just sort of think there's one person watching. It's the game master over the camera. We'll perform for them. That being said, let's perform an escape room. The two of you will be in this final room as, weirdly for this show, two separate characters, which is almost unheard of, to get two people to play two characters.
It happens occasionally.
Danny, are we ready to go?
I suppose so. Should we give just a little bit of reminder context for where we are? Because it will probably come out in the intro, but just to remind everybody, we've been having some inheritance battles between our princes and princesses, and we have finally, just at the end of the last episode, got the announcement that the king is at last dead.
Yes, the king has died. Long live the king.
Not possible. If he's dead.
That's true.
The kingdom has experienced a tragedy, but you two do not have time for tragedy. Your kind seldom does. Yes, you live in a castle, well, the castle, actually, but you are not royalty. You aren't guards, you are the lowest of the low. The rank of servant who isn't allowed to touch the royal family's chamber pots, let alone talk to or protect them. Even the scullery maids look down on you as you spend your days pattering around the darkest, dirtiest corners, cleaning the filth that no one else will touch, all while avoiding eye contact with anyone with the ability to have you punished. There's no hope of promotion. You were born lowly palace hands, and you'll die lowly palace hands. But today, the atmosphere is different, and with good reason. Today is the memorial for King Peter, now dead 2 days. It's meant to be the ultimate in somber occasions, with all the most important people from the most important lands coming to pay respect to his body before burial, but somber isn't exactly the word you'd use for some of these people. Angry, yes. Anxious? Perhaps. But mostly ravenous with deep, deep greed. Both of you have noticed it from the king's 4 children. Sometimes, just sometimes, your duties take you into adjoining rooms to the princes or princesses, never the same room. And even before the sick old king died, you noticed their hunger stirring. They believed their father hadn't yet written a will stating which one would inherit the crown, and one by one, they were desperate to prove that they deserved it. Prince Connor knew of the king's old warmongering days, and he thought he'd respect someone who could command armies. Princess Anne believed he respected only the words of his best and richest friends. Prince Tom wanted to play on the king's sense of pity, and young Princess Matilda, she wanted to prove that she could be ruthless when the time came. But before he could make any final decisions, the old man succumbed to his illness. One of you also happens to have, not 2 days ago, been cleaning in the stairwell right beside the echoey room where King Peter secretly scribbled himself a will. Nobody else knows. And therein lies the problem. The princes and princesses, believing that no such will exists, are planning on using this memorial today as their respective moments to declare their own ascension, by force if necessary. And since it's certain none will relent, force it most definitely will be. With some more snooping and scurrying together, you've managed to overhear all of their plans. Prince Connor wants to light the castle's fire signal to message his allies to the north to help him conquer by force. Princess Anne has requested that the king's best friend and renowned wordsmith Isadora, Queen of the Lizards, gives a rousing speech convincing all the other elites to give Anne the crown. Tom's piteous act has won him the hearts of the commoners, and they plan to go on strike and rebel if he's not in charge. And Matilda has engaged a spy to carry blackmail on enough important people that they'll do whatever she says. All of these things are going to happen right here today, and you have to be the ones to stop them. You two know from experience that when things go wrong, the lowest of the low are the ones scapegoated and sacrificed. You need to stop the children's plans from sending the kingdom into war, and locate the king's will so the fighting can stop forever. All the dramatic actions will surely take place in and around what was the castle's entrance hall, now a memorial hall. The coffin itself sits in the center of the room, surrounded on the floor by various objects in the king's memory. To the coffin's right, a long, colourful tapestry is stretched out. And to its left, a collection of letters from friends and family from when King Peter was alive.
My art degree is really paying off right now.
Do you at least know what shape a coffin is supposed to be? Because I get that wrong a lot.
It's like a weird pentagon, right? Or is that a hexagon? Yeah.
Hexagon.
Yeah, that looks good.
Seven corners, right?
7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah, it is.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
I'm
Depends
glad I'm
who's
not
being
the only
buried.
one who has had disagreements with this.
Hopefully it
Makes me
won't.
feel better.
I won't have to know until I'm dead, in which case it won't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Except for everyone at your funeral being like, what is this weird 7-pointed coffin this guy's in?
Why does he have a circular,
What
a
a-
sphere-shaped coffin?
What a
Just roll him
freak.
into the dirt.
That's what the Pringles guy did, right?
Yeah.
On the wall to the north is a large family portrait. And scattered throughout the room are many small, respectful candles. In the southeast, you spot a new sculpture. To the northeast is the jutting doorway that leads to the signal tower. And what I mean by a jutting doorway, as in, like, if you separated it off with a square, but then got rid of the bottom side. So it's just like there's an extra wall sort of in there.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know,
Okay.
Chris. You're looking at me like it makes no... I agree.
I know.
I only
In
know
my map,
doorways
I
it's
that-
don't
like-
have words.
It's like if you went up to that top right corner of the room and you just drew a box in the top right corner, so it's like it comes in a little bit. One of the
Uh-huh.
walls of that box will be the doorway.
Oh, it's an
Indented
Australian
slightly.
door, Chris. That's why we
Yeah.
don't know
The
it.
classic, the classic Aussie jutting door.
Yes, of course.
To the south is the way outside, to the moat and bridge leading to the front gateway. Another thing to note, and the final thing to note, is that this hall is currently full of guests.
Oh.
And enough time has passed that they may soon be finished paying respects and be ready to start staking their claims. So you had best get to work.
I have a question. We saw the will?
You happen to be nearby when you happen to catch maybe some audio glimpses of him writing said will.
Okay, so we haven't seen the will. We don't know where it is.
Correct.
He's hidden it. It's like the I Spy books, Chris.
I must go cross-eyed. My
Yes.
character stands in front of the coffin and goes cross-eyed. Do I see anything?
Oh man, this is how they taught people to read back in the day. You're welcome to look at the coffin if you'd like.
Sure.
But you said there are people around, and us being lowly servants, I'm assuming that we need to kind of avoid them and such.
Thankfully, you are of the sort of rank that unless you do anything particularly outlandish, they are going to find you relatively invisible.
Oh, cool. Oh, Chris, we have invisibility.
It's just like high school again. Yeah, can I guess go and inspect the dead king and see if anything sticks out?
As long as you keep a respectful distance, it is a closed coffin. It's vast, it's made entirely out of stone from base to lid, as is tradition. And while it's mostly undecorated, it does bear a symbol, perhaps a glyph, as an inscription on the lid. And I believe Bill has an image of that for you.
Yes, for people at home, you can see this image, but Blaine will describe it to you.
It kind of looks like an envelope with a half circle on top. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
it's like a box or an M with lines, horizontal lines on top and bottom, and then just a half circle.
Kind of like
Yeah.
the shape of a video game chest.
Yeah.
I always thought it looked like a handbag.
You know what? Forget what I just said. That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, it's even got the little purse latch thing too. Yeah.
Does that symbol mean anything to us?
No, as far as you know, when it comes to if this is a glyph, oh boy, this country used to use glyphs as its main form of pictographic language hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Barely anyone would know what these mean.
Do you mind if he's looking at the glyph, can I make my way over to the portrait and maybe kind of making eye contact with wait, are we Chris and Blaine, or should we give ourselves like dumb, like silly peasant names?
Good question.
It has no impact on the story whatsoever, does it?
I'll be Kristoff.
Oh, Kristoff, I'll be blah. Well, while Kristoff is looking at the dead king's coffin, I'll make my way over to the family portrait and see if I can see any other glyphs.
You know what? It's a pretty good instinct. This painting is of King Peter when he was somewhat younger, surrounded by his 4 children and one other person. A trusted manservant by the looks of him. He must have been too many stations above you for you to have encountered him, but we will get an image of that, and maybe you'll see some glyphs.
Yes, for people at home, you can see this as well. But Chris, would you like to describe this portrait to the listeners?
Oh, yeah. So we got our king right in the center with the blue robe and his little crown and his 4 kids. I guess the sons on the left and the right, and then the daughters on the bottom left and bottom right. And then this weird, I guess, servant-looking fellow up in the top
cool
right.
Hair.
Yeah, with the cool hair. And it looks like there's a glyph next to each of them. So the king has that envelope handbag. Then the son on the left has an envelope handbag, and the son on the right has an envelope handbag. And then the bottom 2, they have just an envelope looking shape. It's like just the envelope shape, the 2 daughters. And then on the weird servant Pringles man hair, he has got almost like a Pac-Man looking down.
Read my mind.
A Pac-Man looking down with like a river coming out of his front tooth.
There's a reason they never gave Pac-Man a tongue.
Yeah, tongue
Horrifying.
would be Pac-Man with a tongue, maybe. Do we know which of the princes and princesses each these are?
Based on the age of this, yeah, you can presumably tell that from the one on the left. The prince on the left would be Connor, the princess on the left would be Anne, and the ones on the right would be Tom and Matilda.
Do we see this servant guy anywhere in the room?
No, you suspect that he might be long dead.
Oh, okay.
Rest in peace.
Could we go check out the tapestry on the right?
Good call.
You aren't sure if the story depicted on this tapestry is a real event or not, but it is about King Peter, back when he was Prince Peter, and it seems to be a story of him catching a thief amongst his mother's retinue. And you study the final section. Once more, you're finding all the images.
Yes, for people at home, you can see the final section of this tapestry. But Blaine and Chris will describe it to you.
So the tapestry shows a hand, and on the hand, either as like a tattoo or maybe it's holding an object, it's variations of the handbag envelope thing that Chris was just talking about.
You've just sniffed out all the glyphs.
Yeah, we really did, didn't we? So from at the top is like a half circle, and then it's like a little Pac-Man, and then it's like a little square, and then that little tongue thing, and then going down to that purse without the handle. And then there's also words top left, and the prince branded him, bottom right, a known traitor to his queen. So it's a brand, it's not a tattoo.
It looks like the tongue thing goes down to just the envelope symbol, that was the symbol for the 2 princesses. So I assume that symbol means queen or like female royalty. And maybe the Pac-Man with the tongue is like means traitor in some way.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because it's traitor to his queen. It looks like the Pac-Man is like, yeah. Okay.
It's bigger.
All right. Well, we got all the glyphs maybe or close to them. Where do you want to go, Blaine?
There's a bunch of letters. So I think maybe taking a look at that stack of letters. Although, as servants, we probably can't read. But you know
I
what?
don't know how to read.
Oh, Christoph.
Can you
Classic
can you
you.
read it for me?
Are we doing accents? Are we doing...
You are extremely lucky that one of the older servants took some extraordinary pity on you when you were children and taught you a bit of basic reading.
Cool.
So all these letters written on expensive-looking parchment, and the handwriting on them is nearly identical, but they all have different signatures at the bottom. You suspect that the elites of society all just learn the exact same writing techniques from the same writing teacher, so they end up looking the same. There are too many of these to read thoroughly, but a skim tells you don't see any obvious connection in subject matter between them, nor any blatant clues about what you should do next. They're just objects to memorialize the king a little bit more.
Okay.
Mark my words, Chris. That will, it's amongst those letters. I bet it. I'd bet your life on it, Chris. Toff.
Yeah. Yeah, typically in one of these escape rooms, if you hear, oh, there are just too many, it means that you need to be looking for something specific amongst them. And then you'll be able to hone in a bit more.
Could we peruse around the room, but see if anyone is, any of these guests who are here, like, are talking about anything interesting or the will or plans?
Definitely have a bit of an eavesdrop on these guests and the look of them. They're made up of basically the wealthy elite, personal friends of the king, and their closest and most trusted high-up servants, well above your rank, everybody. The most noteworthy person that you spot right away, perhaps, is Isadora, Queen of the Lizards, the one preparing to give a speech in favor of Princess Anne. She's just having some nice, very eloquent, wordy chats. Like I said, she is known as quite the wordsmith. Princess Anne, on the other hand, where is she? She isn't here. I guess she doesn't want to get her hands dirty if any fighting starts. Actually, on that note, the only one of the royal children present is Prince Connor, surrounded by his honor guard. And remembering that his plan is to light a fire signal and call up his allied armies, that could happen at any moment. Prince Tom, on the other hand, also absent, and he allied himself with the peasants, so none of them are present. And as for Matilda, well, all you know is she's got a spy or spies around, so there is no way of telling.
I don't know about you, Christoph, but that Prince Tom guy, he's pretty cool. I think he wants to unionize. I'm down for that, man. I like this guy. Maybe we skip the whole thing and we just say, this is the guy. We heard him, I promise. That's what the king said.
Instead of your actual goal of thwarting all four of these plans and finding the will, why don't you just support the cool guy with the support for the peasants?
Yeah.
It will still start a war.
And
Yeah,
also,
but I mean,
you didn't hear last episode. He's not a guy worthy of support. No
Oh,
one likes this guy.
He's a bit of a
Alright.
douche.
all right.
Well, I guess we could mosey over to the sculpture and see what's up with that.
Yeah, this sculpture, it's a bit of an odd piece. At its core, most of it's marble, carved and painted into a likeness of King Peter during his much younger days. But there are a few actual items that have been added to the outside for decoration. Like, there's a very real belt with a sword scabbard around its waist. There's an actual cape on its shoulders that looks luxurious. You think it actually might be a bit cheaper than it looks. And there's a helmet on its head covering its face. Although, on second thought, you also don't think that's real, but it's not marble either. It's just some removable, whatever the cheap equivalent of plastic was back then.
Now, I guess looking at the belt, you know how like a lot of times people will inscribe or like, if I assume it's a leather belt, like they're almost like a tapestry. Is there anything written on this belt?
No, it seems to be completely plain except for this sword scabbard.
And how about that cape? Is there any like cool logos or handbag insignias?
Seemingly no. You might be glyphed out.
Would it be inappropriate for us to like pull off the helmet or inspect these objects?
You know what? You pick a moment when the important people are looking in another direction, crying by the coffin, and you swiftly stretch up and remove the helmet.
I take it like I'll start. I'll get a rag,
Polishing
like
it?
I'm polishing
clever.
Yeah.
the statue, and then I'll kind of grab the helmet and kind of.
And I'm
Okay.
keeping my eyes open. I'm watch, but I'm cross-eyed, as we established earlier. So I'm staring at everybody.
Perfect. It looks great. First of all, you notice that the face underneath the helmet is pretty good. Worked well. Don't know why they covered it up. And no one will accuse you of ruining the art by doing this. The helmet itself, pretty lightweight. it is a good way that you could tell that it was fake. It's completely airtight. The visor at the front of it that you'd normally be able to lift up to see out of, no, it's fake. It's not a real opening.
Is there anything inside the helmet?
No, there is not.
There are 15 wills, but not the one you're looking for.
Yeah. In the sword and the scabbard, while we're going about detailing this statue and cleaning everything, does it appear to be a real sword? Is there any way that I could subtly, maybe behind the statue, kind of examine it and pull it out?
A little bit. You'll need to like huddle it on your person because someone like you shouldn't be walking around with the sword, but with some small movements, you can wedge the sword out of the belt. It takes a bit of pressure. A couple of flecks of marble dust come off as you pull, but eventually you get it. And as far as it being a real sword, yeah, pretty much. Its tip is impressively sharp for a decorative piece.
Oh.
This must be a plant. Someone put it here for an assassination.
Oh, no.
Was it, any blood on it? Any...
Not yet.
No.
No, Blaine, no.
It's bluff, Christoph.
Okay, so real sword.
My parents died while naming me.
It was the plague.
So real sword, fake helmet, and then the cape. Do we recognize anything? Does anything stand out about it to us?
No, you've gotten everything that you can out of this, I would say.
Okay, the other thing that I would like to examine are the candles over by the portrait. And that's a bit of a stretch, but maybe there's something over there worth taking a look at.
Yeah, you never know. As far as you can tell, all of these candles, they are on. They're flickering warmly. They have been lit. They're dripping into their little stands. They're all more or less the same.
I see. Are these real flames? Christoph, give me your hand. No.
It's real. It's real.
Why? What is this? You never talk like this, Christoph.
Yeah, he doesn't even have his hand in a candle.
Okay. Maybe we'll have to burn something later. Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe that pile of flammable letters.
Should we inspect the signal tower area?
Yeah, you can always wander. You are not forced to stay 100% in this room, so that's okay.
Oh.
You head over to the doorway that leads to the stairs for the signal tower, but immediately you are stopped in your tracks because the entranceway is blocked. Not by tripwire, but by iron bars from the top of the archway having come down to stop anyone getting up there. Well, I mean, that's good, you suppose. If you can't get up there, then Prince Connor and his men can't either. So they can't light their flame, they can't call their armies. Problem solved. Although on the wall to the left, the jutting wall, is a large crank. So yeah, it's sort of sitting facing sideways. Well, maybe Connor and his men won't notice that.
Okay, presumably that crank is to open the bars.
Probably, yeah. I have an idea. We could cover the crank with that cape just so that they can't see. Well, while we're taking a look at doors, actually, is there anything beyond the door that's like, that we can see through the bars?
Beyond those bars, all you can see is these stairs to this twisting spiral staircase going up.
Okay, groovy. And then the exit to the south out to the gateway. How's that exit looking?
At the moment, those doors are wide open. You don't notice anything special about them. They've been open to sort of just invite guests in. You can, if you want, go out to either the front gateway or the moat, should you choose.
What do you think, Chris?
Let's subtly kind of make our way to the exit and just kind of see what we see.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Which one would you like to attract your attention more, moat or gateway?
We'll start with the gateway and then make our way to the moat.
Yeah, save our best for last. I love a good moat.
Yeah.
You quietly make your way out of the hall and you head for the bridge across to that front gateway. It's an open arch with no guards or barricades because, well, that would have made it extremely difficult for mourners to show up. But on the left side of the bridge, you can just see the top of a large crank. So you go over to sort of, I don't want to say handrail side of it, but, the waist-high rocks that make up a thing to stop people falling off a bridge. On the outside of that, there is a crank. You're sort of looking at that. You can't really see what it controls. It must be built into the stone of the bridge. But as you ponder it, a noise hits your ears. It's just a far-off murmur at first, but it's getting louder. You look out into the distance away from the castle and you see people. Not the sort of people who are inside right now, not guests, no. These ones are dressed as commoners. Oh, okay. Okay, you know what's happening here. These are Prince Tom's peasant supporters, and they're on their way here. You have a very strong suspicion that they are coming in and they are going to declare their full-on rebellion if they get inside. You might have to do something, like, right now.
Chris, it's our people, but we can't let them in.
This way, everyone. This way.
You hear the chants from the crowd, which is saying, we're like, we'll get in there, we'll overthrow the monarchy, and kill anybody who works in the palace, even the lowliest palace hands. We'll start with the lowest palace hands. Anyone with a dumb name like Christoph, or a cool name like Blair.
Oh no.
We'll kill them all.
Should we go for the crank?
Crank.
All right, we're going to crank it.
You rush for that crank, and the crank spins under your hands for just a moment, and then it grinds to a halt. And the state of the entranceway hasn't changed. You push, you pull in both directions, but it's not having any noticeable effect. It spins maybe a little bit more anti-clockwise before stopping, but you just, it's like, you know, when you're trying to pull on a seatbelt and it's just not coming. The peasants are still storming towards you, and you haven't succeeded in doing it.
We're getting ever closer.
They sound really mean. Okay. Is there anything else on the drawbridge, like a missing piece from the crank or crank grease or anything?
Nothing at all. It looks like it's in perfect working condition.
Okay.
Why have you never been on crank duty?
I've always avoided it. Is there anything stuck in the crank?
No, not at all.
Is anyone doing anything that's suspicious?
As far as you can tell, no. Everything should be working the way that it's meant to.
I think we need to double back to the drawbridge, and maybe there's something back there.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have much time.
Yeah. How much time do we have, give or take?
We're approaching, but you have just enough time.
Yeah, enough that you are not going to be kicked off the podcast. But no more. Not a second more.
Okay. To the moat.
I don't think I called it a drawbridge. I think you just did that in the playtest as well.
But it's just a bridge.
I'm just thinking about drawbridges and moats and castles and dragons.
Yeah.
You rush back, you give the moat a quick glance. It's just wide and deep enough to make crossing a challenge. From the castle's main entrance, you can walk down a sloped edge to the water, almost underneath the bridge in the front gateway. Down there, you see a small, decrepit rowboat lapping against the shore with a single oar sitting inside it. Well, if you can't figure out a way to stop the peasants, at least you might have an escape route.
Until you just go around the whole way, then you just turn up back where you started.
Then we row on.
Keep going.
All right, Chris, clearly the answer to this problem is we got to fill this moat with piranhas and or crocodiles.
Jumping ones.
Yeah. Does this offer us any new perspective on the gate with the faulty crank?
Again, no, not particularly. As far as you can see, it looks like it should be working. It's just something about the way that it works that is beyond you.
Did this little boat, does it, from our knowledge of working at the castle, does this look like someone snuck in that's not supposed to be here?
No, it looks, you suspect that, I don't know, maybe some groundskeeper used it to help them get to some difficult to reach areas. It's nothing special. It's not in spectacular condition.
So we got an angry mob approaching in a faulty crank. Tell me about this crank. Does it have chains that are like pulling up a gate, or is it a gate that's lowering down? Like,
hard to tell because it does look like it might be attached to some sort of chain-y mechanism, but it definitely goes like inside the stonework. So if it is going to do something like barring the gateway, you suspect it might be making things come up from the ground.
Okay. I feel like we've almost exhausted our options out here because there's nothing else that's sticking out. So I'm wondering if we need to head back into the morning room. You know what? I'm freaking out. So maybe I work my way over to the doorway with that weird like hitch kind of oddly shaped door. Maybe I try touching the crank there.
That did also have a crank. You head over to that one and you take off the
cape?
cloak, the cape that you had covered it in. And that one extremely similar response. It spins just the smallest amount and then stops.
Okay.
Very curious.
Think, Christoph, think.
I wasn't taught to think, I was taught to do.
You're right. Chamber pots and such. Because I'm kind of like panicking, but I'm also trying to keep it together in front of all of the royal class and stuff like that. I'll look behind the painting. Maybe there's something back there, an escape route in the very least, so that Christoph and I can get away.
You prod at the painting. You very subtly push it up to one side to examine the wall behind it, and nothing.
We're going to die here, Christoph.
Crank is getting caught on something. Is that?
Can we go it in the reverse direction? Because you said it's like a blinds or something. I can't remember what you said. Seatbelt. Yeah. The answer to a seatbelt is you let it go, and then you try pulling it again.
Yeah, real slow, like.
That's just definitely the feeling that you get from it. But no, so the one on the bridge, when you pull that, it definitely feels like if you try to go clockwise, it doesn't go at all. If you try to go anti-clockwise, it goes just a small amount before catching or like grabbing, or just like it wants to pull, but it can't pull any further. And the one back inside, very similar, except it's clockwise that works just a little bit.
Can we split up and go, and we'll each do them together at different times?
Yeah, you make a signal from the gateway, because I can't do it in there or else they'll kill me because I'm a peasant. So you make like a caw-caw noise or something.
I'll hoot like an owl.
Yes, very loudly.
And that's the mascot of this kingdom, so everyone will just assume it's very respectful.
Yeah. They'll be like,
It's
wow, a sign from the heavens that the king made it safely.
The
I don't
king
know.
made it.
King, please, when you get to heaven, hoot like an owl so we know.
All right, so yeah, let's look at this tower side first. So you wait until you're pretty sure both of you are in position. You hoot like an owl, and then, sorry, it was Christoph. Yep, you're staying inside. You start turning the crank clockwise, and you hear some metallic clanking going on inside the wall, like chains being fed around gears. And as this sound goes on, as you spin, and presumably as Blur spins at the same time, the bars gating the entrance to the tower slowly rise up to the ceiling, and pretty soon you have an open doorway here. Okay, well, let's see how long it takes Prince Connor to notice that. But as for out the front, with Blur turning that one, you spin and spin your crank. It does work more than a quarter rotation now, and gradually heavy bars rise up from the ground. So you keep going until it's completely blocked the entranceway, and not a moment too soon, those peasants come rushing for you. Those at the front of the mob crash into the bars hard, but they hold firm. They stick their arms through, they're trying to slide their skinny, underfed bodies in through sideways, but no luck. This was exactly what they were designed for.
Anti-peasant bars.
Exactly. Not that you think it will work forever. Even the strongest bars will give eventually with this many attackers. And one particularly scraggly one yells out,
"All hail the rule of rightful future King Tom! The only one who'll give the people what they want. Give in to our demands or perish."
So you're the one that's facing the peasants right now, right?
I am? No, you were.
Oh, am I?
Yeah,
I thought you were
Blur.
hooting. Oh, okay, sorry.
No, I was hooting from the inside.
You're just making a fool. Everyone's. I'm like, hey,
Yeah?
chill out. You know?
No!
Well, I mean, like, he's not that good of a guy, is he? What is he promising you?
yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of shouting and bars rattling, but you can make your voice heard. And the others look at the tall, scraggly one. "Oh yeah, Murdarts, what are our demands again?" And this Murdarts thinks for a moment, and then he gives a bit of a battle cry.
More rights for the little people! Lower taxes! Days off! Free wine!
And that seems to be exactly what they want, because that's met with a whole bunch of cheering. And emboldened, he continues,
And we want it all in a signed declaration by all the so-called royal princes and princesses, or else we storm the palace.
more cheers, more bars rattling. They are very serious about this.
I cheer along. Yes,
Don't you
and I
cheer
go,
along, you palace hand.
I'm trying to help everybody out. So, like, Murdats, you seem like a cool guy. Let me see what I can do. I'll get right back to you, all right?
I'll rattle this gate until you arrive back.
You have very temporarily delayed the peasant problem.
Okay, I walk back into the room where Kristoff is, dusting my hands.
I'm emphatically hooting to say,
Yeah.
get over here.
Hoo. All right, so the peasants, they're really mad right now. Murdats has a lot of demands. He wants all the royal family people. You heard what I
I heard it. They were yelling it.
Yeah, they were screaming it. So do you want to go out this
let's go up to these signal
weird Australian door? Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. This is now open. You should probably take a look at it before Prince Connor gets there. So up the spiraling staircase you go, and then you shield your eyes against the sun. That's you, Kristoff. You've been inside a little bit longer. Blaine's been in and out a lot more. The top of the tower is round with crenellated stonework edges that have been overgrown in parts by the native flowers. Not quite pretty. But most of the space in the middle is taken up by an enormous dish full of logs, branches, all sorts of tinder, a pile that reaches several feet high. It's not lit yet, but one lick of a guard's torch, it'll turn the whole dry heap into a big inferno that will send a signal for miles.
Would it be impossible for us to disassemble the signal and to like distribute the wood?
It probably is quite a lot of it. It's pretty decently chunked up together like that, and some of these logs are like half a tree.
I see. Yeah. Okay. We are underfed peasants, so we probably don't have the calories necessary for all this labor. You mentioned something about the flowers. Is there anything? I feel like flowers can kind of like conceal something, when they grow in that, great overgrowth. Maybe is there anything hidden or anything like that?
Of course. You give it a look, but sadly, as far as you can tell, they are just some nice flowers.
Okay. Well, I give them a sniff,
Of course. It's very fragrant.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, wow.
Stop to smell the roses.
Yeah, that's right. Before we die by peasants' hands.
Or other. Maybe the peasants aren't your biggest problem now.
Yeah. Now you're going to worry about this encroaching army that'll be signaled.
Yeah. Oh, the things we do for our kingdom, Kristoff.
Yeah. I don't even know who we're fighting for.
Justice.
All right. Can I pull some of the flowers and take them and see if there's anything underneath them, or just take the flowers down?
There isn't, but yeah, you can absolutely just stash a couple of flowers in your pocket.
Could give these to the king. You know what? Let's pay some respects. Let's grab some flowers for the king and then maybe head back in and inspect that room. What do you say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Connor hasn't sent his guards up yet, so you've still got a little bit of time there, but who knows how much.
Can I move the letters around? I know we've looked at them, but maybe I'm like tidying them up, or I'm appearing to tidy them up, but maybe I'm actually like searching underneath.
No one will object too much to that, but you won't find anything. They are just letters from a variety of people.
Drat.
Okay. Is there anyone in the room that has that signal that's on the tapestry on their hand?
Oh, that's
Ooh.
interesting. You do give them a bit of a look. None of the important people are paying you enough attention, so you can get pretty close to them to have a good stare. Tattoos and glyphs on someone's person are pretty rare. You don't spot anything identical, but you do see a small handful of glyph tattoos poking out from people's clothing.
My God.
We've hit another image.
Yes, for people at home, you can see these hand tattoos, but would one of you, well, maybe you can take it in turns, jumping between the tattoos to describe them to our audience at home.
So there's 6 of them.
All right. The one on the top left, it's like a hamburger. So you got a patty, a hamburger bun on the top and bottom. And between it, you've got like a rectangular shaped with a nub, circular nub at the top with a tongue going down to the bottom patty or bottom bun.
The next one is a lesser pink, more of a red skin tone, if that's important.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not.
I didn't mention the color.
That's fine. Chris, you don't see color, and that's why I love you, buddy. This one is like a thick T with like more emphasis on the upper part, the horizontal part of the T, and then just like a little nubbin for the vertical part. Flipped upside down, and then a half circle, and then another T, but flipped the other way, and then below that is another like half circle, like bun, but it's inverted from the other circle.
And then you got a bun at the top with the upside down T block with the spiral tongue shape, and then like the letter but without the top.
Yeah, so that same sort of like envelope-y part of those other ones you saw at the start, but with just the bottom, kind of almost like a big kind of puppet mouth sort of vibe.
Kind of like a Pac-Man kind of vibe,
Yeah,
but looking
Pac-Man
up.
if you've cut his butt off.
Yeah.
And if I can give you a tiny break, the next one of these symbols is that same sort of T symbol, but with the vertical part going down. Then another one of those, are we describing them as tongues?
Tongues
sort of,
or tubes? They look
long,
like like
curving tube.
Yeah.
And then that goes back down to the sort of handbaggy symbol, but with the semicircle going down. So that was similar to the ones to the daughters on that portrait.
And then this one's a lot more simple. It's the fifth one. It's like the bookmark symbol, I would say. It's like a square if you took like a little triangle piece off of the butt of it on the bottom. And then it's that
prince shape, right?
Male royal, I guess. Prince or king have both been labeled with that same symbol.
Yeah, and then it's the purse thing with the strap and the envelope kind of looking thing.
And then you got the top of a bun shape, like the half of a circle, and then the T normal side up, then the tongue / tube shape, and then that prince purse shape. Okay. Do we? Are these all on different people, or are they all on? Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm looking back at the picture of the tattoo that was on the thing, the one that said, and the prince branded him a known traitor to his queen, to see which one's the closest. Even if, I don't know, like even if you invert it, it's not similar.
Are the same.
No, they're all distinct.
And as you said before, there's like some sections of these that you've seen in other places.
Yeah, like even back on the painting, there's like elements of each one.
Branded him a traitor to his queen. The top part is the same as that guy who's in the portrait, right?
Yeah, kind of. It's missing the squiggly line.
Yeah, like it's got the circular and then the bookmark shape, and then the weird tunnel tongue. So I'm wondering which part is the is the upside down T mean traitor?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because that's the part that stands out. It's barely a T. It's more like a square, a rectangle with a nub head.
I'm kind of looking at that image and then also the ones from the painting to see if I can, like, if I spin the painting glyphs to see if they kind of match up.
I'm spinning my head.
Oh, the one that's like seems to represent the majority of the royal family members, specifically Tom, Connor, and the king, is that one that's on. It's the glyph on the coffin of the king. It's the purse one, right?
Yeah.
And so only two of these guys, the bottom two, have that.
Some version of that.
Right.
Okay. The four that have like the snaky tube thing, 3 of them have the snaky tube starting on the right side, and one of them has it starting on the left side.
Matilda's emblem is represented on the one on the bottom left hand, so that could be Matilda's spy.
Also, if it's the traitor shape, the one that looks the closest to it, it's got the snaky starting on the left, and then the nub T upside down T is the top left one. So I don't know if that means a traitor also means spy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the tubey thing matches.
The tubey thing, yeah, like that part could be similar in that traitor, spy, but like you said, the only one that has the signal that she also has is the bottom left one with.
That's both totally fair points, and it is hard to say because the symbol could mean anything. It could mean I work with Princess Matilda. It could mean I am a traitor to the king. It could mean there are so many messages that could be come across.
All right, I'm going to stab each of them one at a time.
Gotcha.
I will say, if it helps or maybe it doesn't help, I believe you have the information on hand that you could actively read and tell me the meaning of each of these glyphs.
That's
you think very highly of us, Bill.
Yeah.
I do want to confirm that both Anne and Matilda have the same symbol. They do. Okay, this is maybe a leap, but the royal women of the family have the same symbol. The royal men of the family have the same symbol. And then the servant gentleman has his own distinct symbol. So
maybe it means like common mail. Royal mail has the envelope with the purse shape, nubby going up.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's it. And then the princesses have the letter symbol with the nubby going down. So maybe that's
and maybe
nubby up.
nubby up is man, nubby down, woman.
Yeah.
When it's
Okay, and then we know that the servant who's in the portrait, right?
Yeah.
He's got a tube tongue starting on the right. And I would assume that means he's like a good servant. And then the traitor has one starting on the left.
Correct.
So a good servant starts on the right. Their little
Another
tube.
flippy situation happening.
A good servant starts on the right, and then the bad servant traitor is the left. All right, so you got the top part that means male. It's the nub pointing up.
Yep.
And then the bookmark symbol. Does that mean servant? And then the squiggly tube mean loyal.
So a male servant who is loyal.
Yeah,
Seems reasonable.
so then the prince branded him a known traitor to his queen. That would be a male, and then
Servant.
a male servant who is the Lego block, and then traitor, and then the envelope is queen. So
yeah. So we're now looking at the symbol from the tapestry. So the top was male, that sort of downward pointing Pac-Man-y face is servant. We don't know what, in this case, that T.
The Lego block.
We're describing this as a T nubbin.
It's a Lego block.
But then, yeah, traitor and queen. So you've got male servant, something, traitor, queen, and that's something you don't know the meaning of necessarily. What
I wonder if that's like known.
Yeah, that is a word that is written there specifically. It's a known traitor to his queen.
Oh, so okay, all right. So what if it's this? See how there's like the nubby Lego block pointed up? That's known.
Yeah.
And what if it's pointed down? It's secret,
Chris.
like a secret spy.
You did it. We won. Okay, so then looking back,
Let's translate all these arms.
yes, let's do that. So at the top left, it's dude. It's it's known. Male known.
A known
who is
traitor
a traitor
to
to
someone.
a lady. To a lady.
a man who's a known
Ouch.
traitor to a woman? I think I've
All
written
right.
in my notes that might just be an adulterer.
Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
yeah.
All right. And then we got a known female who's a secret male.
That's just a general trans symbol from back in the day.
Okay.
Whoa, cool. Okay, so then the
All
next
right.
one is a woman known to be loyal to a servant. So maybe they're
Oop.
a woman who is a loyal servant?
Was that one servant?
Is that servant? I don't know if that is. That's
No,
that,
it's well.
that's
you're right.
that's not.
Oh
servant.
no,
We
that
don't-
might be that might be. Is that royalty?
I think that was the general royalty.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
royalty.
Okay, and then we have down on the bottom left the unknown secret traitor who is to the female, the queen. So that's probably our secret spy.
Is it
Is
a
that
traitor?
No,
Never
they're
mind, I'm wrong.
No,
it's
but-
not traitor,
But that doesn't mean it's not your spy. So what does it mean?
it's a
secretly
female
loyal.
secretly.
Secret loyal to the queen.
Yeah, secret loyal to the queen.
Or to a female ruler, at
To
least.
the
female
yeah,
real.
yeah.
So that might be the spy that for Princess Anne?
Matilda.
Matilda.
And then the other one would be okay, but it's a crown flipped upside down.
That's a servant.
Right. So servant who is
Works for the prince.
I guess works for the prince or
Prince
one of the
or
princes.
king or one of the male royalties.
And then the next one would be a guy who is
Unknown and is loyal to the prince or king.
oh my god, I feel like I've just learned a new language.
I know.
Do we happen to have any glyphs on us?
You do not.
What's the
Okay,
glyph
okay.
for ugly and stupid?
My mother gave me that one.
You know what, Christoph? I would find a quill and I would say circle nubbin facing up, loyal to servant. Circle. I'm loyal to you, buddy. That's what it means.
We just
And it's known. It's not a secret. Nubbin facing up. Okay.
If I could just say
so
one
now-
thing about you, it'd be circle facing up, nubbin facing up, line from the top right to the bottom left, circle facing up, crown facing down. mate.
for life.
yeah.
As your suspicion goes back to those 6 people who had tattoos, and especially the one who seemed to have the most suspicious, the being secretly loyal to a female ruler.
The bottom left one.
Mhm.
Maybe her pockets look a little fuller than most.
Oh, can we grew up in the poor part of town. We know how to pickpocket.
You grew up in the castle, but yeah, you know what? When working in housekeeping, sometimes it needs a lot of muscle and sometimes a very delicate touch. So,
All right, I'll try and see. Can we try and see what's stuff in these pockets?
yeah, absolutely. This might require some teamwork to try to distract her in the right possible way. And you've also got a cape. Maybe that'll help you. This will be a proper magic show.
Oh, okay. Maybe we get the cape and the flowers and be like, "My lady, I'll do a little. A magic trick."
Great. Which one of you is doing that?
I'll do
That
it.
sounds like Christoph's already taking it away. He's
right.
already started.
Christoph, you do that. You do a bit of a show. It's very unlike someone of station to even acknowledge someone like you. So the closer you get, the more she recoils in disgust. But you know what? That only works out for you because blah, that gives you the perfect opportunity to make the other subtle move and reach for the pocket while her attention is somewhere else. It's a total success. You come away with a handful of letters and you can immediately tell these are Princess Matilda's blackmail letters. They were going to be distributed at any moment to cause chaos. You don't really care about their contents. You'll throw them in the moat or something. But while you are holding them, there are a few choice words that catch your eye on one in particular. It's interesting. Peter confided in me that his will's whereabouts are hidden in his artwork.
Oh. Now, by artwork, does that mean tapestry or portrait or both? Or we don't know.
Who knows?
Or statue. I mean, there's a lot of...
It's a very good question, isn't it? There is an awful lot of art. From here, you feel like you have pretty well defanged Princess Matilda. You've got everything that she could have used to potentially start a war. But there are still 3 more royal children whose plans are not entirely thwarted yet.
Okay.
So how do we take fire away from Prince, that one guy?
We got the Tom, who's got the commoners. We got...
Who are currently making demands.
Oh, no.
They seem like they won't leave until their demands are met.
And then we got Prince Connor. All right. You said Prince Connor had a guy with him. Was that right?
He's got some honor guards, so a few personal guards.
Can we look and see if there's anything like that they would use to light a fire?
Oh, they definitely have a collection of flints and stuff on them. They will be able to go up there and start lighting that fire whenever they decide.
There's also those candles, so I guess putting those out.
That's true. There's plenty of fire.
Yeah, but knowing that they have the flints, that doesn't really change much.
Oh, can we get some water from the moat and dump it on the thing, on the bowl?
Ooh, if you got enough water up there, you could dampen it all enough that it would send a really crappy smoke signal instead of a proper fiery inferno. That could work. You head down to the moat, take a handful of water. It slips right through your fingers.
Let's get the helmet.
The helmet that's airtight that you can't see
It was an
through.
airtight helmet, and it is entirely watertight as well. You dip it in the water, you get a full helmet full. And then you head back up. Oh boy, the first lap from the moat up the stairs to the tower. Look, it's not too bad, but one helmet full is definitely not enough to cover all of the tinder here. So you have to go back and back again, and you can't slow down because any moment Prince Connor's guards might decide that the moment is right to send their signal. So up and down, up and down. Oh, your arms and legs are burning.
At least the signal isn't.
Yeah.
It's true. This is true. You are satisfied that the whole heap of wood is drenched enough that lighting it will give you just a sad line of white smoke if it lights at all. And, oh man, it turns out that your speed was warranted because just as you descend the tower stairs for the final time, Prince Connor gestures for his guards to join him in going up. Your heart beats hard as you watch them leave, and you wait for their return. And after some minutes, you start to hear raised voices. And then a moment later, all the men come back down, frustrated looks on their faces, and Prince Connor grumbles, well, we'll deliver the summons in person then, to the stables. And they storm out of the hall without so much as a respectful glance at the coffin. They are gone.
They don't even know that there's a horde of servants ready to fight them.
No,
right into the maw of those peasants, yeah. Okay. You mentioned earlier Isadora, Queen of the Lizards.
Yes, she's the one who will be giving the speech in favor of Princess Anne.
Is she present?
She is present, yes.
Do any of those letters that we have, I know that they're blackmail, and maybe this is like too much crisscrossing.
The letters that you have acquired, not the letters that are on the ground.
Yes. The letters that we've acquired, do any of them mention Princess Anne being disloyal to the Queen of Lizards lady? I think what we can do is solely Princess Anne's reputation in the eyes of Isadora, Queen of the Lizards.
That's going to be very difficult because room 3, right? Of this mini arc was very much spent gaining Princess Anne's favor with Queen Isadora.
Of course.
I forgot.
Yeah.
It's ironclad.
Silly
right.
me.
Princess of the Lizards. What's she doing? Is there anything going on with her? Can we look for her speech?
Give her a bit of an eavesdrop. Her conversations with other guests, they don't tell you much except that she has a remarkable vocabulary. She seems very fond of words. It's no surprise that she's the one giving the speech, and you'd be shocked if she needed palm cards or anything.
Is there anything that could throw her off her game? Does she have like a Lucky's rabbit's foot?
It is a good question. You don't know if there's anything that could.
Yeah, hard to say. You don't know her that well.
I know. We have that knife over there.
That
That
she
might
might
throw her
not
off a
speak
guy.
as well with a sword.
Yeah, can we linger by and just kind of eavesdrop and see what else she's talking about? If there's anything about like, before every good speech, I drink a good old cup of Joe or something. I don't know.
She does not seem to be going into those sorts of things with any of the conversations that she's having. But yeah, definitely a good thought about where that information could be gathered.
Maybe she needs to be summoned elsewhere or something. Maybe there's something that is a pressing matter that she needs to attend to that we can send her off to.
Where would she give us? Is there a place that she would give a speech? That
None particular. You assume that she's probably just going to use her servants and her presence to gather everyone around her. It's hard to say.
On the note of her servants, do they have any markings or anything of
They do
note?
not.
we haven't used the letters still. Can we go to the letters and see if any lizards are on?
Well, yeah, the whole thing with this stack of letters was that there was just a lot of them, and it was, is there anything specific that you would like to search for?
None addressed from Isadora, Queen of the Lizards, huh?
There is absolutely one that is addressed from Isadora, Queen of the Lizards.
Let's take a
I'm
look
gonna
at that.
I'm going to sneak that out and then just kind of like scoot with Kristoff and see what it says.
You give that one a little look-see, and yeah, you are very thankful that you got taught how to read when you were younger because you need all your skills to get through this one.
Yes, it's not much of an image, really. It's just some text that you can read instead of us. For people at home, you can see this letter, but either Blaine or Chris, whoever's feeling up to it, can read it out to you.
Chris, you want me to read it?
Go for it, Blaine.
Okay. My sincerest apologies in advance for the presumed illegibility of my scribe's handwriting. Okay, so she's apologizing. Okay. To increase efficiency and punctuality with my engagements, I dictate this while ambulating as I fulfill your request to give my opinion on the design integrity of your palatial home. Traversing the entrance hall and the dining hall revealed nothing objectionable. The quote tower off quote off the entrance. There's like squiggly lines, so I'm going to just say squiggly line, squiggly line.
They're like, what are those?
Tildes, I believe, is the term.
Tildes.
Tildes or strange eyebrows. The eyebrow tower off eyebrow off the entrance eyebrow hall that houses eyebrow. A signal is. Eyebrow, eyebrow, maintained. I'm sorry.
Now I'm just picturing her raising her eyebrows. Tower of the...
That's a sexy tower.
The staircase back down is of an appropriate gradient. 1/4 of the guest bedrooms require urgent aesthetic upgrading, lest the occupants feel you associate them with stagnation. From your honest friend always, Isadora QOL, Queen of the Lizards.
Queen of the Lizards.
Okay, so she's giving the king notes on his palace. Traversing the entrance hall and the dining hall reveal nothing objectionable. So she seems to be looking through the palace while writing this. So she's saying, I'm walking through the entrance hall and the dining hall, nothing objectionable. And then she says, the... Scribble, tower off, scribble, off the entrance, scribble, hall that houses, scribble, a signal is. So I wonder what those things are. Maybe things that were left out because they were walking too quickly or walking downstairs?
There is definitely something odd about that. You've never done scribe work, so you don't recognize them yourself, but it clearly has some meaning.
Yeah.
But the squiggles, those aren't shorthand for the same thing, are they?
It does, it's definitely the exact same symbol every time.
So we need to figure out what these
I do suspect maybe it does have some sort of shorthand meaning that anyone who's done scribe work would know about that you just don't.
Can we look around and see if these squiggles are represented anywhere else?
Some of the other letters that don't seem like they have any real importance or relevance to you, maybe once or twice you will see similar squiggles. So it's not 100% unique to this letter.
You did mention that the letters were all of a very similar handwriting.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were all from scribes that learned from the same school of writing. There's no other letters from Isadora?
No, this is the only one from her. Everybody gets one.
This is what she chose to give the dead king?
It may not have been her choice.
Because these are letters from his past. Like it's a collection of letters that he have been written.
It might have been the only one that he still had from her.
Is there a letter from Anne?
Actually, yes, there is. In fact, there's a single letter from each of the 4 children.
Okay.
You have no idea what the contexts are, but I believe this might be your final image.
Wow.
For people at home, you can see these letters, but again, they're mostly text that Chris can start to read for you.
This is a letter from Anne. Dear Father, my time abroad has been enlightening, though traveling so far taxes my body and mind so. Your descriptions of the ocean did not do it justice. I went days and days without seeing a scrap of land. When I got off the ship, I'd lost all ability to walk properly. The people laughed so. Anne.
I'll read the next one from Connor. Dear Father, thank you for your generosity. The wine was the sweetest I have ever tasted. It's not a sign of good wine, by the way, Connor. I promise to do whatever is in my power to repay you when next you have cause to celebrate. Hearts, Connor. He doesn't actually say hearts. I just added that embellishment.
And then this is from Matilda. Dear Father, should
There
a
it is.
servant claiming to be from Lord Alfred come by, ignore everything he says about me. His son gave me the necklaces for free, and whatever rights and wrongs he accuses me of, he is lying. Matilda.
And this is from Tom. Dear Father, I am so very sorry. Just when I thought I could not lower myself in your esteem any further, I publicly made a grievous error. The gold that my associate discovered with my financing turned out to be nothing more than common pyrite. I will give you anything in exchange for this mistake. To be hushed up. Kisses from Tom. Okay.
All right.
There's no squiggles in here.
No squiggles.
Dang.
So Connor likes wine.
And enjoyed the ocean. Matilda had the necklace. Something from Lord Alfred. Wait a second. Tom. Just when I thought to myself, Group's error. Associate discovered with my financing turned out to be nothing more than pyrite. I'll give you anything in exchange for this. Do you think that we should go talk to the peasants, show them this letter, and say, hey, Tom might have paid you in pyrite?
I don't even think Tom has paid them.
Do we know why they like him?
We think he's the most likely to give us our demands.
But also he was in room 4 and
We did see him
they learned a bit
get
about him.
embarrassed, and it gave us a sense of companionship with him, for we are always embarrassed, for we are serfs and peasants. Did you forget our demands?
No,
Yeah.
the letter.
Yeah, I could restate my demands if you'd like.
Yeah, if
Sure.
you could do that Murdads?
Murdads is my name. I'm a fan favourite. Our demands, and you remember them this time. We want more rights for the little people, lower taxes, days off, free wine, and we want it all in a signed declaration by all the royal princes and princesses, or else we'll storm the palace, as I said earlier. This gate is almost knocked down, by the way.
Is there a way we could take this letter, the 4 letters that they've written, and cut them up to give them a signed letter from all 4 of them that give them what they want?
We have all their signatures.
Yeah, we got all their signatures. We got one of them talking about sweetest wine. We got one of them talking about gold. Matilda says free rights. And then the first one is justice and land, something like that. What did they need?
More rights for the little people. I missed that second one, but I got
More
days off and
rights
free
for the
wine.
little people, lower taxes. Thank you for taking time to very calmly hear my demands. Days off and free wine. The 4 tenets of a good society.
Did you say tenants?
I'm a peasant.
Is that tenable that we take these letters and cut them up and
Can you be a little bit more specific about with what shall you cut it, dear Christoph? Dear Christoph?
That sharp sword.
You did have a mighty sharp sword with a mighty sharp point
All right.
that you feel is probably delicate enough that it could cut up these letters, maybe word by word. Probably can't get it as fine as letter by letter, but word by word, you believe you could make something out of that.
So we need to assemble.
Let's do the wine one first. I promise to do whatever is in my power to
Nice, a good sentence from Connor.
Repay you for your generosity. No. He's not repaying them anything. I promise to repay you the sweetest.
You also don't have to stick to one letter. That's what the handwriting is all close enough.
That's true.
Oh my God. The other one.
I will give you the sweetest wine I have ever tasted.
Nice.
Connor.
Let's see, scrap of land. I'm looking at taxes from Anne right now. Go off the ship. Okay, she said something about taxes in my body.
We have lower in Tom's letter.
Great.
1/4 of the taxes. There's also for free. Taxes free. Tax free weekend.
I will get from Tom. I will give you
1/4 of the taxes.
Yes, sure.
Cool.
From Anne. I guess the from can be
From all of them
exactly.
at the very
You
end.
can put all the names at the end, and you can just
Yeah.
use the words willy-nilly.
Okay, so then we've got the wine, we've got the taxes, we need days off, and we need more rights for little people.
All right, so we got rights from Matilda.
Yes, whatever rights and wrongs he accuses me of, he's lying. You get the word right.
And then it says servants as well. Should a servant claiming? So we could use servant.
Servants.
We could also just start this thing off with my sincerest apologies. You know,
Yeah, I love it.
To increase rights.
We'll just do I shall increase rights of
Servants.
servants.
It's
Servant people.
The
servant people. Yeah.
And then
All right.
and then we need days off.
Yeah, we got days off. All right, I'll look at Isidora's thing and see if there's anything in there. We've got increase.
Days and days without. See if we have work or something.
I said I fulfill your request.
Uh,
I got off the tower off.
okay, I fulfill your request. Off.
All right. So where did we end up with? I assume you wrote all this down.
Absolutely not. I assume we weren't the scribes.
All right. Bill, you going to have some fun with editing that?
It sounded right, although I don't see where the word increase is.
I think that was in Isidora's.
Oh,
maybe.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Increase efficiency.
I love that.
Hmm.
I didn't even. That's great.
So from here, great. You have carefully cut out all of these words from these letters that
I
you
think
wanted.
that all made sense.
We're gonna stick it all together with the wax from the candles. That's how we'll all
Nice.
kind of
Yeah.
glue it.
You definitely needed to glue it, so that's a great idea. You grab one of the candles and you drip it on the back of all these bits and you stick them all together. And great, you have a makeshift letter that appears to be signed by all of the royal children. Would you like to take it outside?
Yeah, Chris, you want to go to Murdat's?
Yeah, let's go to
Murdat's!
You approach the front gate where the bars are still standing for now. You get Murdatz's attention and you get close enough that he can see, but not so close that he can see, all of the little details.
Here you go. We have this letter from the Zodiac Killer.
Murdatz eyes it for quite some time, which worries you, until he says,
Anyone here good at reading when it's all squiggly like this?
there's a bit of commotion. Then a woman with a bit more education than the rest steps forward to read aloud the message that you've created.
All right, quiet down. Here we go. My sincerest apologies. I promise to do whatever is in my power to repay you. I will give you the sweetest wine I have ever tasted. I will give you 1/4 of the taxes. I shall increase rights of servant people. I fulfill your request for days and days off. Connor, Tom, Anne, Matilda.
The peasants clap. They cheer. They have bought it. Murdatz brushes his hands together.
Right then, I suppose they've earned themselves their peace. We'll be on our way, and we won't forget. Those are some mighty fine promises they've made.
And they turn, they walk away back towards their homes in town. Whew, okay, it may not be the most permanent solution, but you have definitely bought enough time with Tom's folks to fix everything else. Now, all that we have left is stopping Isadora from giving her speech and getting back to these weird tildes.
Yeah.
That's all we need to understand.
Bye, Murdat's. Okay.
Bye! See you later!
Hopefully not. Okay. Isadora and her tildats. It's like a tilde is like approximate, right?
I mean, maybe. Again, it's scribe language.
Yeah.
What are these scribes doing? Do we have a scribe? Is there a scribe in the room present?
There are still, even though a few people have left, there are still plenty of people around, plenty of high-class people with their high-class servants with them. It's entirely possible that there are a lot of scribes.
Could we go up to one and be like, yo,
You give it a go. You try to find someone who looks higher up, but not so higher up that they will completely disregard you. And you try to find one. You find one who is momentarily free, being ignored by the other high-class people around them. That seems like the right choice. So you show what's left of the letter. And you say, hey, do you have any idea about these odd symbols? And this guy, he lights up.
Why, I undertake scribe duty, so I can certainly enlighten you. The symbols you describe are indicative of the speaker having broken their train of speech with a bodily function, a cough, a sneeze, or similar.
a fart?
Similar.
Or similar. A cough, a sneeze, or I suppose breaking of wind.
Still a very fancy servant. Doesn't speak the way your kind does.
Chris. Okay. She might be allergic to flowers because she was heading the tower off the entrance. All the houses. She says the signal. That's where it is. Those flowers, Chris. We got to get more flowers.
Let's go get the flowers and
we got to decorate the room. It's the king's room, and we miss him so.
Flowers
We need to honor him
everywhere.
with flowers. Flowers on his little statue, make you flower crown. Flowers all over the casket.
Isidore, have a flower.
Yeah, you head up there, you grab flowers, you start scattering them around the room, notably close to where Isadora is standing right now. You might accidentally, brush her arm a little bit and things like that. And, oh boy, it doesn't do anything at first as she talks, but she eventually pauses to clear her throat.
I stab her with a sword.
No. And then she sneezes a sneeze that is so powerful that it knocks the dignity right out of her. She splutters, she gets phlegmy, and pretty soon all of the other elites are like gathering around her in concern. Her face goes blotchy. And then all it takes is one servant under their breath to say, "Plague," a hint too loudly, and everyone starts to fall into hysterics. They all cover their mouths, they flee the room, and Isadora can't call them back. She has no voice to say that it's not plague, and she staggers out to visit a bathroom or similar.
These flowers made me fart everywhere.
The room is empty. Wow, all of the guests, you've managed to get rid of all of them.
I think it was Isadora's farts that really cleared the room.
Must have been. Makes sense. Well, now you're completely free. You've solved
Tales
all
from
of
the stinky lizard, am I right?
You've fixed all problems. You've stayed all the possible upcomings of inter-sibling war. Now all that's left is this will to make sure that it stays this way. So now you can start looking for it again.
All right, so the will was in the art, right?
Right.
Yes.
Do we dare shatter the statue? Just like bump it and then it just kind of hits the ground? Can I check underneath the statue? Maybe it's hollow.
Oh, it's marble. It is not moving.
Okay.
What about the belt?
No, all it was doing was holding a sword scabbard. That was the only reason it was there.
Okay. The cape we use for the magic show.
Yeah, you suspect that maybe when we described this as new, it was new as in someone bought it to honor the king now that he's dead.
I see.
Well,
So
what about
tapestry or the painting?
the portrait has that his fellow dude, his loyal servant, right?
I'm going to give you a
Yeah.
very interesting hint.
Ooh.
It said there was a hint to the location of the will in his artwork. And I'm going to tell you, you can see that, but not if you have it open in a browser window. I was not able to see it at all when I had it. I had to download that specifically and open it up in a more like desktop-based viewing thing. I could not find this hint
Good to
in a browser window. So I'm not.
Interesting.
It might be in the tapestry, it might be in the portrait, but either way, you will need to download those images fully.
All right, Chris, I think we need to examine these paintings, maybe the tapestry and the king's painting.
Take one of each and give them the hardest look that you've ever looked.
I'll do.
I'm looking at the portrait.
Chris is leaning in towards the screen. Blaine is leaning in towards the screen.
I'm so interested in this thing. All right. I'm going to download it. Enhance.
Definitely download it. Yep.
2.4
Zoom and
megabytes.
enhance.
Well, okay, it says it's a .exe. Is this a virus that you guys sent?
Oh man, you
Oh,
guys.
You've got the plague.
Ah,
All right. Maybe the darker symbols.
It will not be subtle.
But yeah, once you see this hint, you'll know.
You will know.
oh wait, hold on. Enhance. It says on the back of his hands, "Here." Chris, I think it's in the king's hand.
In the family portrait, if you zoom in real hard on the king's hands,
All right, should we go look in the coffin and in the king's hand? Let's check the hand. Let's check the corpse and check his right hand or his left hand.
now that everybody is out of the room, No one is going to stop you. You still feel a bit sacrilegious, but that's okay. You put your hands on the coffin lid and push. And it doesn't budge. You try getting your hands in the gap underneath the lid, but even with both of you doing this together, there is a good amount of space there, but your tender muscles, after all that water carrying, you just can't lift up the lid.
Stinking servant muscles.
What do we do?
Darn it, Chris.
Is there another?
Where have we seen a lever? Hold on.
It does look like there's space to like jam something in there to help lever it open.
Oh, can we use the sword?
You grab that sword, and one of you, whichever one of you is holding it, can do so. And it's pretty good. It's doing like half the work. If you can find if the other one of you can find something else, then I think that teamwork will get it open.
The canoe paddle.
There was a single oar back down at that boat.
You did it, Chris.
You rushed down.
Here's the sound design.
Okay. Coming in at just the right angle.
Now we know
one
how
of you
Blaine
stabs
got his
in with the
name.
end of a sword. Another one stabs in with the end of the oar into that gap between the coffin's lid and base. You push down, and the lid starts to lift with a resounding, cracky, creaky nonsense noise. Getting everyone out of here was definitely the right idea. You could not have done this inconspicuously. One more hard shove, and the lid clatters to the floor. And lying there, wizened but still very fresh, you see King Peter himself.
Hello.
You try not to look out of respect, but it's hard. You've seen a handful of dead bodies in your lifetime, but usually with plague or terrible injury, it means they didn't look very restful. King Peter looks completely at peace. And in one of his hands that's crossed over his chest is a scroll of parchment. Yeah, no time to waste on ethics. You snatch that scroll from the dead man.
What does it say?
I try to give Peter a kiss to see if he'll turn back into a frog.
Or he awakens.
Yeah. Oh, Sleeping Beauty,
Sleeping
of course.
Beauty.
What does it do? Bill, Danny, what happens?
Nothing. You're kissing a corpse.
Oh, God.
Oh, he needs more. He needs more kissing.
He's getting warmer. Oh, gosh.
Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I just admitted it. Okay, I look at the letter.
I cut the other end.
Declaration of Inheritance of the Crown and Kingdom by King Peter. Right, enough of the nonsensical legal jargon. This is the document about what I want, so I'll start by writing it in whatever tone I like. Back when I was crowned, my departed father left me with the express fact that being king was a burden. That he had left me the role to punish me. And while I quickly learned that making someone a ruler to punish them is an absolutely ridiculous idea, he did not overstate the difficulty of the position. He had made a series of foolish decisions that nearly brought the kingdom to ruin, and I had to use every ounce of my being to pick up the pieces. It was hard. It was exhausting. It was not something I would wish on anyone else. So when it came to the inevitable task of deciding between my own children to become king or queen, I did not decide lightly. Should I choose the one born first? Ridiculous. Eldest siblings can be inflexible. Must I pick a son? Outrageous. Gender doesn't restrict how wise or stupid you might be. No, I observed their skills as they grew, encouraged them to develop their own values as to what they believed necessary in a monarch. Each child had their strengths and weaknesses, their powers and their blind spots. All they needed was the wisdom to realize that if they worked together, they would have everything. Connor has the force and leadership to steer an army. Anne has the charm to turn any influential enemy into a friend. Tom's empathy earns the hearts of the commoners, and Matilda has the grit to make unenviable decisions when they must be made. Alone, any of them would assuredly fall as a leader. Surely they could see this. But they haven't. These past days, as I lay in my sickbed, I have observed their pitiful attempts to win my impression. Attempt after selfish attempt to earn the crown alone, based on utter misunderstanding of what I would respect, and utilizing paid outside assistance to do so, allowing others to do the work rather than making an earnest attempt on their own. I can only predict that when I die, they shall turn on each other with such ferocity that they shall, like the 4 horsemen arriving on earth, destroy all I have built in their own insidious manners. Therefore, there can be only one conclusion. I declare no heir, and will continue to rule myself.
As you finish that sentence, King Peter's empty left hand reaches out and latches onto your wrist.
Oh, it worked! The kisses worked!
He pulls himself up into seated position, and using that grip on you as leverage, he hoists himself out of the coffin and does a big old stretch.
Not as uncomfortable as I expected, but even so, when I do die, I'd rather be left in my bed.
Not only does he sound very much alive, he doesn't even sound all that sick. You look at the scroll you've just read, and then back at him. You were never dying, you say to him. It was all a test to see if your children would step up to their responsibility. Only you don't believe any of them did. And King Peter stares at you intently.
That's not entirely correct. Some of them did.
He takes the scroll and flips it over, and on the back is a single sentence.
Once I do succumb, however, I grant shared control of the throne to my illegitimate children, who have served the palace as servants since birth, and who are the only ones who have proven time and time again that they know how to run a kingdom and keep all factions happy.
Illegitimate children?
It may seem like I took a foolish risk with my own kingdom, allowing my legitimate children to nearly destroy it. But was it really a risk, if I knew my best and brightest would do whatever they could to maintain peace and order?
Is he talking about us? Are we the
I don't
illegitimate
know.
kids?
I don't know.
You have his
Do you know
nose.
do you know who your father is?
No.
I just assumed it was the bartender.
Do we look like the king?
You know what? There's something in it.
Oh my
You've
god.
never noticed it before because mirrors don't exist, but...
Papa?
My beautiful Christoph, my wonderful Blur.
Wonderful Blair.
The next minutes in which King Peter goes around, he gathers back up all the people who have fled and makes his reanimation known to them. It's chaos. It's a bit of a cacophony. And then the next hours, they're a blur to you because you go from bottom tier household help under orders to be neither seen nor heard to recognized members of the royal family. Look, it's no great shock for a king to have illegitimate children, but acknowledging them is much less common, and actually including them as part of the royal lineage, that is unheard of. But, you know, a lot of what King Peter does is unheard of, and time and time again, he has always shown people that somehow his decisions are the correct ones. So everybody from all the groups, from the military to the neighboring countries to the aristocracy to the peasants, have no choice but to trust his word that you two will be the best possible rulers for the future. And you will be. As long as you can keep your now apoplectically furious, bitter, vengeful half-siblings at bay. And with that, you have finished the story, you have finished the arc.
Oh my god.
Death to the sibling, to my
Death to all of my siblings and Murdats too!
No, Murdats gets knighted. I knight thee, Sir Murdats.
Thanks for listening to Escape This Podcast. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we discuss the escape room we just did with the guest we just had. This podcast is kept afloat by crowdfunding, so if you enjoy the show, why not support it on Patreon? There's weekly bonus audio for our $5 donors, monthly videos for our $10 donors, cryptic crosswords for our $20 donors, and anyone at any level can appear as an NPC in one of the rooms that Danny designs. And thanks again for listening.